All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna check out its local search and social and city search here, both combined. See if they got BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, the home video, pinned video, somewhere around here. And this is because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC picture here in white. Over on the left, the highest intent peeps, that's social search, that's Google search, searching, boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. And we talk about that here when we talk about BSS. And over on the right, that's the lowest intent peeps, people that ain't searching for that right now, most often have no idea what the heck boudoir even is. So they actually So we actually have to reach them via interruption ads on Facebook and Instagram. Talk about that over on our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we currently only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads, and where we talk about BLCS over there. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. And having 0 slots, our business is dying a fast death because 0 slots page 1 means we're on page 2 or deeper. And as a result, we are invisible to approximately 80% of the market. 80% of, that approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So we're done a fast death there. Page 1 Google search, not good either. We're looking the same as everyone. The other 9 boudoir photographers, I'll be there each with one link. So we're essentially invisible there as well. And 0-1 slots of page 1 Google is not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, basically everyone knows that. Someone's getting a new iPhone, new camera gear. Just over time, more people enter the marketplace. They throw up their Google My Business profile saying that for boudoir photo shoots. They are throwing up, basically they're throwing up their website saying they now do boudoir photography. They're posting the mom groups that they now offer boudoir. And as a result, more boudoir photography sellers, same number of buyers, harder for every single boudoir photographer. Next, something that's not previously known was the false belief of page 1 equality. This is where boudoir photographers kind of accepted, kind of without thinking about it, that every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and that's simply, simply how it is. And as a result, they are, kind of maybe they're slot 8 on page 1, then some market saturation happened. Now they're slot 2 on page 2. They're kind of like, oh, well, that's simply how it is. Hopefully, those people delete their websites and Google stops indexing them and ranking them. So maybe Google will pull me back up onto page 1. So this is 100% incorrect. We've actually discovered Google will give us as many page 1 slots as we want to acquire. And as a result, as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And we discovered this with our new methodology where I was able to go from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search. And we were actually able to do that all in 10 days. So we'll see those results in like 2 more pictures here. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer. And it's kind of the first warning light, the canary in the coal mine, that that our boudoir photography business is on the path to disappearing as well. But what we've discovered is BSS is treated with social search saturation SQ methodology. We discovered this because we invented it. And it works exactly as it says, social search saturation. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in our city, so we show up there. This is kind of like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains. down in South America on the eastern side, the backside. And what happens to that snow is it melts into small streams, small rivers, and it actually all flows down, flows together into the Amazon River. The Amazon River is page 1 on Google. So it all starts with saturating social search, which then allows it to flow into page 1 on Google. And what's interesting is this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully compete against market saturation in a relatively quick time frame. So still allow business to grow in a relatively quick time frame without ever, without taking a long time. The second option is building a large, well-known brand. Dude, that takes 5 to 10 years. We ain't got 5 to 10 years. We got AI here taking everyone's jobs. We need results faster, way faster in 5 to 10 years. And so brand is off the table for right now at this time. And something interesting with SQ methodology is I actually believe my estimates is it can actually help build a brand, large, well-known brand, approximately 8x faster than standard methods, because we're on so many surfaces, so many times, and actually kind of utilizing the mere exposure effect for our benefit here. So here's an example of fighting back against the market saturation with SQ methodology. Let's say we are, let's say we are in Memphis, Tennessee. There's 1 million boudoir photographers. We're one of them. And as a result, everyone's got their website saying they do boudoir photography. Everyone's trying to rank page 1 on Google. So ultra competitive, and realize, man, we ain't got no brand. We got to really fight. Like literally SQ methodology, the only solution out there that can help us with this. So we start using it, and we actually crank it up like maximum. And let's say that gives us the first 300 slots page 1, or first 300 slots social search against all of the, against all of the on all the social networks. That let's say that flows onto Google, and we get the first 300 organic slots on Google as well. So it's like 10 slots per page, and 10 slots per page means we're taking up basically the first 30 pages of Google search. So we got everywhere boudoir buyer looks, social search, Google search, basically all in the one they can find. So whose business is going to be growing? Obviously ours. We're the only one people can be finding. Whose business is going to be dying, disappearing, going away? Obviously every other, with our 999,999 boudoir photography competitors in our marketplace. And as a result, we actually, it's kind of the only option for us that gives us a chance to keep growing. So that's what's special about SQ methodology. Now, once you're with SQ methodology, we have page 1 visibility. Initial benefit, obviously, more page 1 links to Google search. And we've got this new secondary benefit where every new link we get page 1 Google search, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible to the approximately 80% of searchers that are never even reach page 2. They're page 1 searchers only, which means making them visible to the bulk of the marketplace. So a lot of boudoir photographers say they actually like this benefit the most. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So the GBC universe has a recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google. And that's a recommended minimum because basically everyone else is going to have 1 slot, so we're going to be dominating them on page 1. In the ultra rare case, someone has 2 slots. Well, our 3 slots are also going to be dominating them. So we're basically covering all scenarios by having 3 out of 10. Finally, we know that a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. That's fine. Simply search. Well, we'll simply use our SQ methodology social search saturation, and that gives us page one visibility, turns us into a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Now onto my results using SQ methodology. I wanted to rank for this keyword BLCS boudoir. So I already knew that SQ methodology was the number one, basically the number one option for me to do this. And let's go to the organic slots to see my results. So let's see what I got here. So I got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I went from 0 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search, to 9 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search in only 10 days, purely by using S-cubed methodology. No website even needed. All right, we're at the main event here. And check out this boudoir photography business. Looks like we're going to Ottawa, Ontario. Seeing if we got BSS for their city search or what. All right, so we're going to Ottawa. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Boom, we got one. Let's see. All right, so our results. So we got 1 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search for city. City's always harder than local search. More competitors. So yes, we do have BSS, and we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. You're just a boudoir photographer, and you've done a local search for yourself with a high intent with buyer keywords, and you have also done the same for the city search, and you've had BSS for one or both those searches, or you've not hit the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 page 1 Google searches for one or both of those searches, and you've accepted and you know and you see now that the false belief of page 1 quality is exactly that false. Google actually wants to give as many page 1 links to us as possible as we want to take, and so you're saying, well, that's exactly what I'm looking for. SQ methodology is my only way forward. You're liking the initial benefit. One of the initial benefits, which is more slots page 1 on Google for the highest intent buyer keywords. Liking the second initial benefit, which is which is kicking more competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. So making them disappear and eventually making them go out of business. And you're also liking, you're understanding the market saturation. People get new gear, yeah. Over time, more boudoir photographers enter. This market slowly gets more and more saturated. But now you're looking ahead and you're saying, wow, AI is going to be taking a ton of people's jobs. So you're seeing that and you're like, okay, actually there's going to be a larger and larger flood of people coming in to be boudoir photographers as AI takes more people's jobs. So you're thinking ahead and you're like, all right, I got to fortify my position on page 1. Can't simply dominate. I got to fortify it. I got to have like so many backup links that Google wants to rank on page 1, but we only got 10 slots, so like Google literally cannot rank all my links there. And I need to do that so that current boudoir photographers can no longer rank on page 1, and also guarantee future boudoir photographers that come in from AI taking their jobs will also no longer be able to rank on page 1. And you're saying S-cubed methodology is the only solution to deliver that as well. And you're liking the future benefits, kind of longer term, which are, kind of the longer, every single day we successfully execute S-cubed methodology. What we're actually doing is we are increasing the probability that, we're kind of building up these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our brand, our business name, our website, our social handles, out in like the invisible AI mindshare space. So we're kind of, putting these columns like like the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, or like spokes, on our bike tire going to the central hub, which is our brand. We're putting all these spokes or columns attached to us. And what this does is this increases the probability that we show up here, AI overview, right at the top, the most premium placement. We cannot buy this AI overview with Google PPC ads. So every day we successfully execute this, we increase the probability we're shown here in premium placement, no ad cost, and guarantees our competitors does not get it. And also, since we're building up this AI mindshare, we increase the probability AI search services recommend us as well. So we're talking ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Every day we successfully execute methodology. We're actually building these invisible thematic keywords on our around our brand. And as a result, we're increasing the probability every single day AI search recommends us when someone's looking for a boudoir photographer in their city through AI search app. And yeah, Google right now is still approximately 9% of global search, but dude, AI search is growing every single day. Last time I did AI search for boudoir photographers in a city, it was gave me 3. And I actually went to like Google for those searches, and dude, I found like 60. Like, dude, if AI's only recommended 3, we need to get onto those 3 by any means possible. And I believe studying this, understanding it, that it's this back end AI mindshare, gotta build momentum into it, frequency, repetition, relevance, authority, age. These all factor in, kind of all weighted on the AI search backend. And the final thing you're thinking about, yeah, can build a brand, estimated 8x faster. And also, you understand my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. So you've decided to be a first mover because you want to box out your competitors, ensure that they don't get access to this, and then you can actually essentially guarantee a massive gap between you and your current boudoir photographers and any future boudoir photographers that will be coming from AI taking people's jobs. And as a result, build a massive back-end AI mindshare momentum for showing up the highest probability with AI search. And you also understand the converse, which is if a competing boudoir photographer, jumps on this before you, then we'd be building that momentum, getting all those benefits. For them, you'd have a higher chance getting kicked off page 1 of Google, going on to page 2 to deeper pages, losing. You're becoming a disappearing boudoir photographer, or more disappearing if you currently are already there, and actually slowing, basically on the path to the boudoir photography business disappearing. Plus, you'll be building up this massive back-end AI mind share for search momentum with your competitor. And so what you'd have to do is you'd have to go rederive, or actually derive for the first time, S-cubed methodology. And you would never actually truly know if you derived it correctly. Then you'd have to go and execute on S-cubed methodology every single day. And when you do all that, you're simply maintaining the gap, meaning your competitor continuously building every single day. So you'd actually have to double or triple our S-cubed methodology output every single day to close that gap, pull the AI mindshare momentum away from me and your competitor and towards you for the back-end AI mindshare for higher probability of recommendations in AI search. And you would never feel 100% confident even executing an S-cubed methodology because you would not know if you derived it correctly. So you probably actually wouldn't put in the time to execute double or triple. And double or triple might take, dude, it might take like 80 hours a day. Like, who literally has time to do for 80 hours a day? Ain't nobody got that time. So after understanding all that, you've decided, screw that. I've decided to be a first mover. I'm going to be the first one to use S-cubed methodology in my city. And so if that's you, shoot me a DM. The hospital is closed for new patient intake at the moment. So even if you wanted to work with me, you cannot. But when I open up the hospital for new patient intake, then shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify for using our S-cubed methodology.